Welcome to another 5-minute tutorial. This time we're gonna look at two tricks for making mechanical eyelids. So the first one is, in this case, for instance, you have an eye and the eyelid that you can see here that I put out. And the problem is that once you put it on the upper position, you will see that if you look on the backwards, it will overlap, it will come out of the mesh. And we want to fix this. So how can we fix it? There's an easy way, is you can use lattices. We will use lattices to hide this part that we don't want to see coming out of the metal part. So let's do it. First, add a lattice and scale it up. Be sure that you're in object mode, not in edit mode. It's important. So just be sure that all the object is inside the lattice, and then add some resolutions like divisions on the x-axis. After that, you can enter edit mode and start to modify the lattice. What we're going to do is actually take the back of the object and just scale it down. You can start like this. Be sure that it's always like in a row. And then you really can scale it very small, very small. Then just parent the lattice as you do, a normal deform, and you will see the effect. Now, once you rotate the eyelid, it will actually deform. So I just hit the other object, and you can see that it's deforming inside and making it very small, so that we just don't see it outside of the mesh. You can hide the lattice for a better effect, and that's it. That's an easy way to fix it. Okay, in this second example, we are going to have a look at a more complicated eyelid. In this case, we have 4 different parts that will enter in each other and then make the eyelid open or closed. As you can see, doing it animating manually is not really possible. So first of all, we are gonna lock Y and Z rotation so that we only move them on X. We add an empty. We are going to constrain them using a copy rotation. So add the constrain them to the empty, and you can see we don't care about XYZ, just make sure that it's in wall space. And of course I'm locking the Y and Z axis and just hiding these 3 so that we can see exactly the effect on one of the pale. So as you can see, it's just copying the location. What we want to do now is limit the rotation. So add the limit rotation constraint and limit it on the x-axis. We don't know exactly the numbers. Is it from 0 to 60, 0, 90? So I'm gonna disable the other constraints and have a look at the x-axis, and you can see it's going to -80. So I'm limiting from -80 to 0. Adding the constraints back, we can see the effect. It's not going down, it's not going up too much, and that's looking fine. What we need to do now is copy these 2 constraints to the other objects. So that's done. If I hide this object on the back, you can see there's a problem, is basically they all rotate the same way. What we need to do is adjust the limit rotation angle. The minimum is going to be -80 for the first one, -60 for the second one, -40, and you guess it, -20 for the last one. Now, if we have a look at what happens, that's exactly the effect that we're looking for. Alright, so now that we have the upper eyelid, what we can do is add these 4 objects, add them in a group, add this group again in the scene, but this time we're going to mirror it on the Z-axis and we basically have the same effect when we open the eye. We have it in the upper side and the down side. So that's it. That's a nice way to have an eye. Thank you for watching.